What has happened to true fashion? Fashion is defined as a popular trend, especially in styles of dress and ornaments. Someone's sense of style is shaped by personal taste, culture, lifestyle, and influences like fashion trends and role models. Better styles often come from self-confidence, understanding one's body, and a keen eye for fashion, enabling them to express themselves uniquely.
I don't know if I give off a big influence. I mean, I have a son. He's 16 years old, and he pretty much like the same type of stuff. So maybe I influence him. But I really just wear the stuff to just feel comfortable. You know what I mean? And I really just get what I like.
So do you think like people judge other people based on like what they wear?
They do. Do I think it's cool? I don't.
If you see someone in ripped clothes, you're gonna be like, they're probably homeless or they don't have much money. And of course, if you see someone like luxurious, dripped out in fashion, rings all over, you're gonna probably think a lot about them or highly of them.
I mean, I guess you could assume, because people like to guess or like to make judgments based on your appearance. I guess you could assume I'm like from like a bad part of the neighborhood, you know, like something like that.
I mean, definitely. Fashion is cultural at the end of the day. Like, it's everyone's influenced by everyone else. So, I think it's definitely different in like a million ways. It's kind of hard to pin down. Also, everything comes from something. So, I do think that like the history of fashion definitely influenced today's fashion. I think it's inevitable, and it's good. I think it's exciting because it always is changing.
Absolutely, yeah. The changing of the weathers, it's like you're constantly changing with the times. And then also being so close to the fashion industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think of the fashion industry?
It's fickle at times.
Fickle?
Yeah, because there's a lot of waste. And right now we are experiencing fast fashion, which creates a lot of waste. Now people just wear it for a couple of days and then they throw it out and they buy new stuff, and that's not sustainable.
Over time, fast fashion has become more prominent amongst our youth as it has become more accessible, cheap, and trendy. Fast fashion is inexpensive clothing rapidly produced by mass market retailers in response to recent fashion trends. FabScrap is a convenient and transparent recycling and reuse service. It is an affordable and accessible materials resource and is educating and empowering a diverse community of changemakers. So how does we as a society combat the epidemic of fast fashion?
I think you need to learn. I think it needs to be brought to everyone's attention that places like Shein and Walmart, those places where you can buy anything now, right? You have a certain look in your head and you could just buy it for a change, as opposed to actually buying something that's good, that's gonna last in your closet for years to come. So I think just keeping that thought in the forefront, I think it will make for a better shopper. So I lived in New Jersey for about 20 years, and while I was there, I studied at Rutgers, and I studied fashion design way back when I was like 18. Anyway, the recycling aspect of it started way back when in Jersey, when I started making the journals out of the recycled fabrics, because I also started incorporating like even the cardboard that I was using, it was recycled cardboard. So I try to make those rules for myself when I work, that I use as many recycled products that I can, so I can be, and I can be environmentally friendly. And when FabScrap was like an open door to me, it was just great that they were on the same team. One of the surprises that I found at FabScrap was that when I learned more about it, at first I was going for selfish reasons, just to get myself some really cool looking fabric, but then I found out that over 800 designers donate their leftover fabrics. And not only fabrics, they also have mendables, which are pieces of clothing that the fashion designers may be working on and that they're still resolving. So while they're moving on to like the final piece, those pieces that they've been working on are now trash to them. They can't sell them, so they just throw them out. But instead of them throwing them out, they end up at the FabScrap. I think in the 90s, there was a big movement, like the green movement. Recycle was a big thing, environmentally friendly things were. So we were all in tune as teenagers to be better and think about the planet. So at FabScrap, we get the mendables. So these are some of the designer clothing that you get that they're still working through. So when I get this, I'll fix it And if it's still wearable, I'll put it on Poshmark and try to sell it for a few dollars.
FabScrap endeavors to end commercial textile waste and maximize the value of unused fabric.
Yeah, I'm Joshua Hildreth, and I'm the reuse coordinator at FabScrap. So we've recycled over 1 million pounds of textiles so far, and out of all of the textile that we've collected, we've been able to recycle 80% so far. Thrifting is less sustainable than it was now that it's so trendy. And one of the other concerns with that is when people like upcycle, a lot of the time they're still actually throwing out part of the garment. And so like, even though you might be saving something from landfill, you might not be saving all of it from landfill. One way that FabScrap helps is definitely, and this is for all students, it's a really great resource for materials. So fashion students always need fabric and leather and yarn, and because they're kind of specialty, those things are very expensive. If you volunteer here, you can get material for free. If you're a student, it's always discounted.
As a society, we need to put emphasis on the effects of fast fashion, regardless of your knowledge on the topic or how much time you can commit. There is a form of sustainable fashion activism to suit you. For example, you could buy secondhand, organize a clothing swap, rent clothes, go shopping in your own closet, shop locally, invest in timeless pieces, look for sustainable materials, opt for ethically made clothing, and most importantly, just do your own research. Making such simple changes to the way you view clothing and the fashion industry can impact not only you, your pockets, but society as a whole.